This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Learning with Altura. I'm Damian, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about teens and vaping. So let's get started. So, what is vaping? Vaping is inhaling vapor caused by an electronic cigarette, also called an e-cigarette. E-cigarettes come in many different shapes and sizes. So, as you can see in this picture down here, there's different shapes and sizes of the e-cigarette. These ones right here, they're a little bit bigger because they're meant to be modified. So the user modifies their vape pen, their vape product in the way that best suits them. This one over here, it's a little bit more discreet. It's kind of shaped like a pen, and you could pretty much take it anywhere, like in your pocket, in your purse, and it's not too bulky and it's really convenient. These over here as well, they're called rechargeable e-cigarettes, and all of these ones right here, they could all be recharged. But these ones, they're shaped more like a USB device, like a memory stick. And so it's really hard to tell the difference between the memory stick and the e-cigarette if you don't know the difference between them. And these are a little bit smaller as well, so they're to fit better convenient the user. So because they're small, they just slide right into your pocket. And this last one is called the disposable e-cigarette. So this one is not meant to be recharged. It comes with the battery, but as soon as the battery runs out, then you pretty much just throw it away. And so the act of actually using an e-cigarette, it could sometimes be called juuling or vaping. And so now we're just going to look at the anatomy of a vape pen, of an e-cigarette. So this is just the basic anatomy of an e-cigarette. And I know I'm using this picture right here, but it could be applied to any other e-cigarettes. These are the main components of an e-cigarette. So the first one, it's called the atomizer. And the atomizer is where the cartridge is going to go into, or where you're going to drip in the e-liquid. And so what the atomizer does, it heats up the e-liquid or the flavoring, and that's what turns it into the vapor. So when it turns into vapor, that's when the user inhales, and that's what comes out. That's what the vapor is. And the sensor, that's what turns on the coil, the heat coil. So some e-cigarettes have a power button where you push the power button and then you inhale, and that's when it turns on and you inhale the vapor. And other e-cigarettes don't have a power button, but they turn on as soon as you start to inhale from the device, and that's what turns it on. And the last main component is the battery. Like how I was saying earlier, some e-cigarettes can be recharged. So when they run out of battery, they just recharge and you just use them like normal. And like others, like the disposable e-cigarette, once it runs out of battery, there it's done. You just get rid of it. So now let's look at the dangers of vaping. So young people who vape earlier, they're more likely to become addicted to nicotine when they're older or when they get older. And so this happens because their mind isn't fully developed, their brain, they're not fully developed. So when they get that hit of nicotine, it's gonna hit them harder and they're gonna feel the effects more. So it's gonna be easier for them to become addicted to the nicotine. And so next, some e-cigarette batteries have been known to explode without warning. So the battery of the e-cigarette has been known to explode while the person has been using it either to vape, and it explodes in their face. So their teeth, their lips, their whole face gets burned and badly messed up. And other e-cigarettes have exploded in people's pockets where it's left them with second and third degree burns. So that's not good either. And so Juul, it's one of the most popular brands of e-cigarettes. On their website, they claim that one Juul pod, that's what you insert into the e-cigarette, one of those is equal to a pack of regular cigarettes. And if a person is vaping more than 1 joule pod a day, that's pretty much like they're smoking more than 1 pack of cigarettes a day. Okay, in 2018, 1 in 5 high school students reported using e-cigarettes in the past month. The e-cigarettes, they contain many different harmful substances. So, like how I was saying earlier, nicotine is found in e-cigarettes, and that's the substance that causes addiction. And carcinogens, they also been found in e-cigarettes. That's the substance that causes cancer in human. And formaldehyde is found in e-cigarettes as well. And formaldehyde is used to make building materials and household products. And acetaldehyde is used to make perfumes and dyes. And heavy metals have also been found in e-cigarettes, like nickel and tin and lead. So 99% of e-cigarettes sold contain nicotine. So some companies, they claim that their product doesn't have nicotine, but studies have found that even some of those companies, their products also have nicotine, even though they're advertising it that they don't. So that's also important to make sure that you're not getting any of them if you don't want to nicotine. So just be careful for that as well. And advertisement to youth. So e-cigarettes have been constantly been accused of advertising to kids and teens. In 2014, 18 million high school and middle school students reported seeing an ad for an e-cigarette. And that could be either on the television, the TV, while walking down the street, and even on the internet. That's going to be the main one that they see is on the internet. And so they have been accused of advertising to youth because they make flavors that appeal more to the youth population. So some flavors that, for an example, are chocolate. They have chocolate flavored vape liquids, bubble gum, cotton candy, strawberry, vanilla bean, and thousands of flavors. Sweet flavors, like right here, and that's one of the reasons they're being accused of advertising to youth, is because an older person is not really going to find that appealing, and it's going to be mostly the younger people. So in this next slide, this is off a website that you could order vape products and refill packs for your vape pen. And as you can see right here, they have categories of flavors that you would want. So if you wanted to look in the breakfast category, they have different flavors for that. For fruit, they have different flavors, and just depending on what you want, and then they have a bunch of flavors for whatever category you want. And over here you can see the quirky names that they use, like America and Cowboy Cooler, Kiwi Berry, and it looks like it's meant to attract the youth, the younger kids, the younger population. And as you can see, the drawings on the actual product, they're bright, colorful, fun, so it catches your attention when you see it, and that's why they've been accused of trying to advertise to the youth. So it's very important that you need to know the signs of someone that's been vaping, or someone that vapes. You need to know the signs. So one of the signs is if you smell an unusual or sweet or fruity smell that's coming from your child, or from the person, or their room. If they don't have any kind of scent candles in there, and you realize, like, oh, why does this smell sweet or fruity, then it could be that they're vaping those fruity flavors. And also finding multiple USB devices that are unfamiliar to you. So if they have a variety of USB devices, and maybe you're trying to look at them and they don't look like USB devices that you plug in for memories, from like a memory stick, then that could also be that they're using a vape pen. And some of the signs that that a person is vaping is that they have dry mouth, dry nose, and their thirst may increase. So that means that they can have an increased nosebleeds. And if you notice, they're drinking more water or licking their lips a lot, or they're having frequent nosebleeds, that could be a sign as well. And increased mood swings like irritability and anxiety. They're gonna feel anxiety when they're not able to vape because they're already gonna feel the effects of the addiction to the nicotine. So if they're not getting that nicotine regularly, they're gonna start to feel irritable, and they're gonna lash out on you or your family or your friends, and that's also another sign. And the last one is decreased drinking of caffeine or energy drinks. So some users of vape products that vape and also drink caffeine or energy drinks, it tends to mess with their stomach and makes them feel sick. So so people who are vaping and drinking caffeine, they tend to drop the caffeine or the energy drinks so they can vape more. And that's a sign because they rather vape than drink the caffeine or energy drink. So there's gonna be a decrease of use of that. And so here's just some advice for talking to teens or talking to someone, a younger person that you want to help. So you need to find the right moment. So let's say you're just sitting on the couch watching TV or a movie, and you notice someone's using a vape product, or maybe you're walking down the street and you see a smoke shop that's selling vape products. Maybe you could strike up the conversation like, oh, hey, do you know about vaping? And then go on from there. And you need to have an open and honest discussion. These teens, these youth, they don't want to be lectured. They don't want to be getting in trouble. They want to have an honest conversation. If you're trying to talk to them like you would an adult. Don't treat them like a child, because as soon as you do, they're gonna shut down and they're not gonna want to hear it. If you talk to them honestly and openly, then there's a better chance that they'll talk to you back and they'll want to know more. And so don't be criticizing them. Um, and if yourself you're a smoker or you vape, then you should set a positive example to them. So maybe you could start decreasing your use and try quitting yourself, and then they can see like, oh, well, they're quitting, so maybe I could quit too. And make sure you have the correct facts, because once you do start talking to them, they're going to be asking questions and they're going to want to know more. And so you need to know the right facts to tell them about. And over here we have some examples of some questions that could come up and some answers that you can give back to them. So let's just read the first one. So they could ask like, oh, why don't you want me to use e-cigarettes? And so here's some great answers you can give them. Science shows that e-cigarettes contains ingredients that are addictive and could harm different parts of your body. And so there's some more just in case. And so before you quit, you need to know why you're quitting. So why are you quitting? Are you quitting to feel healthier? Are you quitting because your grades are being affected? Are you quitting because maybe you lashed out at your friends and family and your relationships are being affected? So it's good to know why you're quitting, so down the line when it starts to hit you like you want it, then you think about like, oh, I want to feel healthier, or I want to make my social relationships stronger. And also you need to, when you quit, you need to quit completely. You need to quit vaping, you need to quit cigarettes if you're smoking cigarettes, if you're chewing tobacco, smokeless, any other tobacco product, everything needs to be quit as well. And setting a quit date is a good start. You don't need to do it that same day that you think of it, or maybe the next day. Maybe you could say, oh, next week I'm gonna prepare to quit, or in 2 weeks. But you need to set a quit date so when it comes, you could already be prepared for it. and you need to know the challenges that are to come when you do quit, like triggers, like when a lot of people tend to vape or smoke when they're stressed or they're angry. So you need to know how to handle that stress and how to handle that anger, especially because you're not going to be able to vape. And so you need to find a new way to deal with that. So it could either be by exercising, maybe taking a long walk, listening to music, anything that doesn't have to do with vaping. And so also you need to know how you're gonna feel with the cravings and withdrawal, because once you quit, the nicotine withdrawal, it's gonna hit you and it's gonna make you feel sick. It's gonna make you feel angry and sad, and so you need to learn how to deal with that. And another great example would be to imagine yourself vape free. Like, think into the future and imagine yourself being vape free. Think about being happier, having more energy, and having that loving relationship with your family and your friends. And just imagine it, and that's gonna help you as well. And you need to build yourself a team. So it's like they're like your cheerleaders. So it could be your family, maybe your friends, a doctor, somebody that's gonna encourage you and keep you on track. And and if you ever need help, there's always these great resources that I have put right here. And you could either call. This one right here is open 24/7, 365 days out of the year. They're always there. You could call, chat with them if you ever need some advice or just someone to talk to. They'll help you with that, whether it be with your mental health, how you're feeling after you quit, and they'll definitely help you. These two are phone numbers that you can call, and this one right here is if you don't want to be talking to them over the phone, or maybe you can't, you could launch a chat message with the representative, and they'll help you if you ever have questions or concerns, and they'll definitely help you as well. So I just and then that's it for today. So cool. So just wanted to thank you all for coming to another episode of Learning with Altura. And make sure to follow our page on Facebook, Altura Centers for Health, and stay tuned for our next video. Thank you and have a great day.